Oh,
There we go. All right. So I'm Bruce Haulman, and I'm one of the instructors in the Australia-New Zealand program. I just want to tell you a little bit about how the program works, and then see if you have any questions that I can answer. So one of the key things I like about this program, it's a combination, it's a cooperation between Green River College and University of Melbourne in Melbourne, Australia, and Unitec University in New Zealand. So when we're in Australia, we'll be in Melbourne, we'll be at the University of Melbourne. And when we're in Auckland, New Zealand, we'll be at Unitec. So you'll have sort of a campus grounding in both places. Let's see what's happening. Why won't it advance? There we go. We're going to actually do on-campus work for about a week before we go down, and then a week when we get back, and then we'll actually be in Australia, New Zealand from January 12th to March 1st. So we'll get you oriented, you'll meet the faculty, we'll do overview of the classes, and so when you arrive, what we hope to do is be able to have a lot more time out in the field when we're there. It's 15 credits, so an anthropology class taught by Chris will be focusing on Australian New Zealand culture, mostly on Aboriginal culture and Australian Maori culture in New Zealand. A biology class taught by Australian and New Zealand faculty from Melbourne and from Auckland, and then a history class, history of Australia and New Zealand, that I'll teach. And so that's my background. I'm a historian. So I'm trying to think how I advance this. I love this slide. I use this every time I talk about Australia and New Zealand, because this is a guy, MacArthur was a guy who in the 1960s went to study in England from Australia. And he was just teased unmercifully about from being down under and down at the bottom of the world and all that kind of stuff. And so one day he was just fooling around with the map and he flipped it over. And it's sort of like, it was like an aha moment for him, because when you do that with a map like this, what is top and center except Australia and New Zealand? So it's sort of like, and so he would take it around with him, and when his friends would rib him about being from down under, he'd show them, well, look at this map. I'm really on top of the world, not the bottom of the world. And it's just that concept of changing your perspective, and it changes the way you look at the world. And I think going to Australia and New Zealand, you'll find changes to the way you see the world. Let's see, we'll do from January 3rd to the 12th, we'll do virtual classes. So we'll do the introduction to the culture class, the anthropology class, and to the biology class, the history class. So you sort of know what your assignments are. You'll meet the faculty, and we'll do that online. And I'm assuming all of you are very familiar with online education as a result of COVID. And so we'll get you set up so that when we arrive, you're ready to hit the ground running, so to speak. And then from January 13th to February 5th, we're in Melbourne, Australia. And this is a photo looking at the city. If you think about Seattle, this is looking at Seattle from the waterfront, and Seattle University is just right behind those buildings. Well, Melbourne University is just behind those buildings. So it's about a 10 or 15 minute walk to downtown, easy tram ride. There's a tram stop right by the campus. So very easy to get around in Melbourne. And this is where we stay, Newman College. It's built in a quad. So this is the center. It's surrounded on four sides by dorms. And this is the dining hall. There's an academics center. There's a chapel. So it very much feels like you're at Hogsworth, if you will, in the Harry Potter kind of thing. It's that kind of residential college. And you'll be in a dorm room, and we'll have meals in the dining hall. Some of the faculty, Australian faculty, will be Annette Cook, does the biology class, and we've worked with Annette since the program started in 2001, and we'll work with some of the Aboriginal leaders and instructors in the area. And this is Marindindi, who's from the Aboriginal tribe just to the north of Melbourne. So you'll work with Australian faculty in Melbourne, as well as Chris and myself. We'll get out. A lot of the program is involved in getting out of the classroom and into what I call the field. So we'll do field trips to wildlife reserves. We'll do trips to art galleries, historic sites, museums, that kind of thing. So, probably about out of a given week, you're actually sitting in a classroom probably one day spread through a week. The rest of the time, we're really out experiencing Australia. And then we have a travel break week from February 5th to February 12th. And that's time where you can travel independently. And we'll help you sort of organize that travel. You can go surfing, you can go up to the Barrier Reef, you can go to Sydney. You've got lots and lots of options. And you'll have 5 days to travel. We'll help you get that organized. We bring in some backpack travel people to work with you to help you set up schedules and book hotels and flights and all that kind of stuff. And then we come back to Melbourne. This is the train station in Melbourne, Flinders Street train station in downtown Melbourne. And then we head for New Zealand. Looks kind of familiar, looks a little bit like Seattle. It's built on a harbor, Waimata Harbor, and it has its own Space Needle that they call the Sky Tower. And it's just a beautiful city and reminiscent in many ways of Seattle. We're at Unitec, University of Polytechnic, in the western suburbs. So if you think of Melbourne and Melbourne University like Seattle and Seattle U, the university is literally on the edge of downtown. In Auckland, it's sort of like downtown Seattle and the University of Washington. It's out a little bit away from downtown, but it's only about a 20-minute train ride or bus ride downtown. So it's in the suburbs, but it's close in, like the University of Washington is. One of the things I like about this program is in Australia, you live in dorms. In Auckland, New Zealand, you live in apartments. And this is Mount Albert Lodge, where you'll have apartments, either a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment that you'll share with 2 to 4 people, depending on the size of the apartment. And you'll have your own kitchen, you'll do your own cooking, all that kind of thing. So one of the things I like about the program is you get that experience of living in a dorm and living in an apartment. And so it gives you a better sense of what you want to do when you get back. These are 2 of the faculty members that we work with at Unitec, Mel Galbraith, who's a bird expert, and Jenny James, who's a field biologist. We'll also work with the Maori Cultural Center. The picture on your right is the interior of the marae, or the Maori Meeting House. And if you notice, the photograph behind me is that same back wall of the meeting house at Unitec. And one of the unique things about this program is when we arrive in New Zealand, we'll have a day or 2 to get settled, and then we go spend 2 days at the marae. We go there in the morning, we have lunch, we have dinner, we spend the night at the marae, we cook breakfast and lunch the next day, and you get a really in-depth sort of exposure to Maori culture, and it's very exciting. This is one of the haka that they do. You'll learn to do Maori ceremonies, Maori dances, just great kind of immersion. And then we have a travel week in New Zealand as well, from February 24th to March 1st. And a lot of students either do a tour around the North Island, or they go down to the South Island, to Queenstown, and some of the adventure touring. And again, we'll help you plan that. We'll help you get organized. Most students like to travel in smaller groups, 5, 6 students traveling together, but you can certainly go off on your own as well. And then we come back to during this travel week, you might want to go down to Hobbiton, which is the movie set for Lord of the Rings, and then also for The Hobbit, both of those 3 movie series. And it's spectacular. It's a great place to visit. This is the Tongariro Crossing. Yeah, this is photographs taken from Mount Doom in the Lord of the Rings series. It's a hike that you walk between 3 volcanoes, and so it's very spectacular. One of the great hikes in the world. And Cathedral Cove is on the Coromandel Peninsula. Just beautiful kind of almost South Sea looking beaches. And then we come back to Green River. We come back to the United States, and we'll have from March 6th to 16th, we'll have virtual classes. We'll do the reflections, make the connections, make sure all your assignments are done and your grades are turned in. And then, let's see, that's it. These are photographs of groups in the past in New Zealand and Australia, and you do make lifelong friends. So that's a quick kind of overview. This is a satellite photo, so that's Australia on the left, and you can see Australia is nearly as big as the United States, so it's a big country. And New Zealand, fairly small, but New Zealand, if you flip New Zealand upside down, the south end of the island is about like the north end of Vancouver Island, and the tip of the north end would be in Baja California. So it's just a bit like the west coast of the United States. So that's a quick overview. So let me stop screen sharing, and then let's see if you guys have any questions. Okay, any questions that you have?
Hi. So I talked to Ms. Swanson about Ms. Swanson, may I ask about the auditing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I will be transferring out after the 4th quarter. So all my classes will be done.
Right.
And I'm wondering if it would be possible if I could audit the 2 classes, biology and history. Yeah.
Yeah, that's certainly possible. You'll be, as an auditor, you'll be required to do all the assignments, go to all the classes, that kind of thing. But yeah, we've had students do that before. We've had students that have taken one of the classes before, and so they audit it as a special subject kind of thing. There's lots of options there, but certainly possible to make that work for you.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Is it Ezra? Any questions, Ezra?
I guess I'm just kind of
Breaking up a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yep, Kim. Yes.
I guess I'm just kind of thinking, is there like an estimated total cost of the trip for students?
Yeah, Megan, you want to answer that?
Yes, I do. And actually, if I give me one moment to pull up the form, I can tell you more precisely. So there's kind of 3 different buckets of money you need to think about when planning for study abroad. One is tuition. So that's just the money that you pay for your credits for the classes that go on your transcript, and you'll pay that to your home college. In this case, if you're Green River, you'll pay your tuition to Green River. The second is the program fee. So that pays for all of your housing, where you're living, sometimes meals, like at Newman College in Melbourne, you'll have 2 meals a day provided on the program, all the excursions, all those field trip admissions to sites, and paying the guest lecturers to be part of the program. So the program fee is the biggest price tag that you'll see. And then the third bucket is airfare. So you'll also need to book a flight to get there and back home. So for this program, the program fee is going to run around $6,700. And then tuition is pretty much the standard Green River tuition rate for 15 credits minus the campus fees. So since you're not utilizing the campus facilities, we subtract the fees that are normally charged, like for the student union building, tech fee and stuff. So currently we charge $1,450 for tuition if you're taking all 3 classes. And then your airfare to Australia and New Zealand round trip with the puddle jump in between the 2 countries can be around $2,000. You can sometimes get a good deal. Bruce, I don't know what's the best deal you've ever seen. Maybe
Best deal I've ever seen. This was a few years ago, but 3 students in the program wanted to go back and visit. They came back while we were there, and they came back and visited. They found $800 flights round trip from the United States to Australia. It was just, they were traveling at odd times and that kind of stuff. But it's worth getting out there and looking. I mean, there are good deals, and and if you got flexibility, I mean, you'll need to be there on a certain day, but if you can fly a day earlier and just stay in a backpack hotel or something like that, sometimes you can really make yourself save quite a bit of money on the airfare. And it's just a matter of getting out there and looking. And that's what we also will help you do in Australia and New Zealand as you're planning your travel week, is we'll help you look at the best prices and those kind of things. But yeah. It's worth getting out there and looking.
Yeah, to add on to that, expected prices in Australia and New Zealand, you're also going to be responsible for your lodging and meals and transportation during the break weeks, which are 5 nights each. So that adds on a bit of an additional budget, and you can do it on the real cheap, or you can stay in a nice hotel, you can go camping, you can kind of do it at any budget level. So we try to estimate an average amount. And so the total investment for everything that you could possibly need while you're abroad, including everything, I would tell you to estimate around $11,000 or $12,000 for everything after you've added tuition, program fee, airfare, spending money, break week activities. Some people, like to really save up and do some of those special adventure things like bungee jumping or scuba diving certification. I know when I studied abroad, just being there was all I could afford, so I didn't do the extra special stuff on the side. I did day trips and explored the city and felt like a local, so that is the overall total estimate. And then within that, maybe plus or minus, depending on your personal choices and how you're spending money for food and what kind of activities you do. Does that help you, Isa, give a good picture of the budget?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Great. And while I'm talking about the cost, because it is a large investment, I'll point out a couple things. So one, the advantage of going while you're at a community college is you're going to pay less for the tuition than you would when you go to your 4-year university, because tuition at UW costs about $2,000 more per quarter than it does here. So already that's a savings to you. And so we do have, if you're eligible for financial aid, if anybody, fills out the FAFSA form, any of that aid that you're eligible for, you can put towards your program expenses, including airfare and housing, the program fee. All of that gets considered by the financial aid office when they look at your need for the quarter. So sometimes students are eligible for more money than they usually would be in a regular quarter on campus. So it's really good idea to start early, which is great that you're all here right now today to start that process, because the sooner you approach financial aid about it, the sooner they can help you identify more funding. If you're not eligible for financial aid, no problem. There's also plenty of scholarships available. And now's the perfect time to start looking for those and researching them and seeing which ones you're eligible for. I'll put a link in the chat in a moment to our scholarships website. And we do have 2 specific scholarships set aside just for Green River students going on the Australia-New Zealand program, and they're each $1,000. We give those out after students have been accepted and paid their deposit. So generally students use that money for their break week spending money. And that's a real help. So they don't have to save up that additional money. Any other questions students have about funding? Feel free to unmute because I'll be looking at that link quickly.
And Al, did you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions specifically about the funding.
Okay, just anything about the program, about what you'll be doing, where you'll be, anything like that?
From what I remember, like Australia is in a different hemisphere, so like winter would be a different season for them?
Yes, yeah, we'll be down there in the middle of their summer. So January, February, March, when we're in Australia, New Zealand, if you think about sort of June, July, August is that kind of thing, or July, August, September. So we'll arrive right after Christmas down there. Christmas is their summer holiday. So their schools actually, we start in September and we run through June. They start in February and run through November. So you just think, so December and January are really like our July and August, if you will. It's the middle of the summer. So yeah, it's really a great time to be down there.
Cool. So yeah, just wanted to double check that.
Yep. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Right. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's you leave here. I've literally left here on days when it's been snowing, and the next day you get out in the airport in Melbourne and it's 85 or 90 degrees, and it's the middle of the summer, and it's kind of a shock, a weather shock, if you will. And then coming home, sometimes I've come home and it's been snowing when you get off the airplane in March, and it's sort of like, oh my God, I want to go back.
Yeah, I'd imagine it'd be a bit of a.
Yeah, no, but it is a great time to be there. And, Melbourne is, Australia will get really hot. And I mean, at times it'll be in the 90s or near 100 or in the 60s and 70s. It's really up and down. Auckland is kind of like here in a really good summer. I mean, it's just 75, 80 degrees every day. It cools off at night. It's a climate very similar to Seattle's, except warmer. Auckland's had snow once in the last 50 years, and it was just a light dusting. So it's a little bit more like living in sort of San Diego, LA kind of climate, but a marine climate. So it's just very pleasant. But it's a great place to be in the winter, particularly when you're talking to your parents or your friends and they're freezing to death in your shorts and t-shirts and sort of like. So it's a great way to rub it in.
I did have a question about the classes.
Sure.
So I still have to talk to my advisor about this, but by fall 2022, I'm on track to kind of complete all my credit requirements, or most, if not all. So I was wondering, what's the max amount of credits I can get waived for winter quarter, if that's even possible, but if not, like, that's totally fine.
Yeah, that's you really want to talk to your advisor and talk to Megan, look at the classes. I mean, all of these classes can either fit into distribution requirements or into sort of optional classes that you take. So, I've found that most students are able to make it work with their schedule. You want to look at your 90 credit limit that you can transfer into a four-year university. And that's really where Megan and your academic advisor can help you look at that. But you've got the distribution courses, and then you have electives. And these all of these courses can fit into either category. The history and the anthropology meet social science distribution. The biology meets a science distribution, or any of them can go into electives. So does that make sense?
Yes, yeah.
So-
Most of
yeah.
the classes that I need are electives, so
Mhm. Sure. Yeah. So, and that's where Megan can really help you with that and work with your academic advisor. But never had a problem. And all of these classes transfer anywhere you go. So all through the Washington State University system, but also nationally, we've never had a problem with these courses transferring wherever you go.
And Isa, I'm not sure what you meant by getting the credits waived, but Kay earlier asked about auditing the classes because she'll be similar to you, finishing up her degree, but still wants to participate. So that would be, you're not doing it for a grade, you're doing it for pass fail, but you still pay tuition. But we'd want to talk with your advisor specifically and look at your education plan and see what you need to complete in order to see what we can, fit in for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I meant audited and not, I don't know, I just I chose wave. But yeah, I would be definitely meeting with my advisor, and thank you for clearing that up.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. It's real easy to do whatever works best for you.
Yeah, as long as you're willing to still put in the full effort of being a student in the class, still doing all the readings and the homework assignments, because all of the courses complement each other, and the trips that Bruce leads and that the biology instructors lead kind of integrate with each other. So I don't recommend that students, skip a class, like only take 2 of the 3 classes. So we highly recommend that you take all 3 classes together.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it really is almost like a coordinated studies. I mean, what you do in the biology class, impacts what you do in the anthropology and in the history and vice versa, all the way around. I mean, it's just, you're in the place and you're experiencing the place and you're sort of experiencing it through 3 different lenses, but each lens is looking at the same thing, but just in a slightly different way. And so that's why it ends up being such a powerful learning experience, because you're there and you're experiencing it in real time, but you're also looking at it through these different lenses of history and anthropology and biology. So it'll work. I mean, I've had students audit in the past, and it's just fine. So good. Glad you asked. Any other questions that I can help with? Anything about housing, about meals, about travel, anything like that? Just let me know.
Oh, I forget if it was the New Zealand one or if the Melbourne one, but you said that or both of them, where we'd have to like room up.
Mhm.
Would that be with like other like studying abroad students, or
Yeah, it would be with, in Melbourne at Newman College, you'll be in a dorm. And so the dorms are set up. I'm thinking there's 8 rooms on a floor that share common bath facilities, so showers and toilets in the center, and then 4 rooms on each side. And so we'll have several floors in dorms. And so you'll have your own private room, you have your own desk and bed and a sink in your room and those kind of things. And then you share showers and toilets. In New Zealand, you'll be either 3 or 4 people in an apartment, and you'll share eating facility. You have the kitchen. It'll be just like an apartment. You have 1 or 2 bedrooms, depending on the number of people. You have a kitchen, you have a dining area, you have a lounge room, so that kind of thing. It's sort of typical kind of apartment. And there, what we'll do is probably by the 2nd or 3rd week we're in Australia, is we'll help you select who you want to room with in New Zealand. You'll have had time to meet people and get to know who you want to hang out with, who's compatible. I mean, you know, if you get up at 5 a.m. and go running every morning and your roommate sleeps in until 2 minutes before classes start, yeah, you're probably not great roommates, right? You know, it's that kind of thing. So you want somebody who has a compatible lifestyle, similar interests. And that's why once you've been together for a couple of weeks, you really sort out, you know, who you will want to live with in New Zealand. And we'll work with you on that. So does that help?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Right. Yep. Yep. So any other questions, Megan? Anything that we've missed?
I guess I could talk about the application process.
Sure.
Kay has already started it, which is great, but for the others, there's an application form on the Study Abroad website, and it asks you to submit a one-page essay explaining why you want to participate in the program, as well as a copy of your transcript, because we do look for students to have at least a 2.5 GPA if possible. And then we also ask for 2 letters of reference. One should be from a teacher, and the other could be from a coach, a boss, a mentor, a community member, just not a family member or friend. So once you submit that all to me, I'll evaluate it and then invite you to have an interview. And we have an informal discussion just to ask you some standard questions about what challenges you might expect to encounter when studying abroad and how you would deal with them. And then I let you know right away if you've been accepted right after the interview. And if you are, then you're invited to pay the deposit to hold your spot in the program within 2 weeks of being accepted. So that deposit is $450. And that secures your space and lets us know that you're serious and that, you know, we can move forward with making bookings for you on the program. And then the balance of the program fee is not due until mid-October. The application deadline is October 8th, but you can start applying now. We're accepting apps all through the summer and into the fall. Let's see. So it's not a competitive process. It's open enrollment, just like Green River. You know, we're open to all types of students. So it's on a first come, first served basis. If you apply and you meet all the requirements, then you're accepted as it comes in. So it's not like I hold off and wait until October 10th and then say, okay, who we're going to pick, Bruce, who's going to be best. You know, we just choose as you come along. So that's application and enrollment process. And then we do have a pre-departure orientation session that Bruce leads about 1 month before you go. So Bruce, you want to mention a little bit about the topics you cover in that?
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll do it usually early December. We'll have an orientation and we'll invite all the students and their families, so parents, siblings, whatever. And it's just a chance to sort of talk about the program. You have a chance to meet the other students, so you can get to know them a bit before we meet online, and then online you'll get to know them through the online classes. And so by the time you get on the airplane and arrive in Melbourne, you're going to have a group of people you already know, you've already worked with. So it's a very comfortable kind of transition there. And it's also a chance for us to talk with your parents and answer any parents or partners or, you know, whatever, to answer any of their questions. And because they want to make sure you're well taken care of, that you're going to be safe, that you're going to have a great experience. And so that orientation in early December is really for you and for your family if they want to attend. And we've also had students like Kay, if you're not here in the States, you can certainly do it via Zoom online. We've done that in the past with students, so that's easy to do as well. So it depends on what happens with the pandemic. I mean, we're always sort of like, what's going to be the next shoe that drops? But it sounds like both Australia and New Zealand have done very well through the pandemic. They've handled it very well, and they've had low infection rates, and they're starting to open up to international travelers and tourists and students. And so I think by January we should be in very, very good shape.
Yeah, and Bruce, when you mentioned COVID, that reminded me, I'll just say that as part of your program fee, we do purchase health medical insurance for you while you're traveling. So just for those 2 months while you're away, we purchase international coverage for you, and that would cover if you got COVID or if you had an accident, if you got sick and needed to see a doctor. It would work sort of like it does here in the US, and that you may have to pay up front and then submit a claim to get reimbursed from the insurance company. And so we help facilitate that for you, just to make sure that you're safe and well taken care of while you're away.
As I had a question about if they can access this recording, and I'm assuming
Yes.
Megan will make it available.
Yeah, I'll try to send a link out to the recording after this. It'll take a few minutes. Well, it may take a couple hours to get it processed before I can send out a link. Yeah, absolutely. And then I will try to also post it on our website for future viewing. But I'll follow up with all of you here today with an email and some of the resources. So we have a budget estimate sheet that breaks down all of those costs that I kind of outlined for you earlier. And we have a really cool Google Earth tour that I put together using photos that Bruce collected over the years of the different locations that you go to and some of the field trip sites that you get to participate in. And it immerses you and gives you a visual of what to expect on the program. So that's kind of a fun thing to check out when you have time.
Good. All right. So any other questions? Megan, anything else? Okay.
I'll go ahead and stop the recording.
Okay.